Hey, here we are, Thoughts from the Office, Redneck's Pride Outdoors. Folks have been contacting me about the predator calling scents that we put out. I know Joe Pio is doing a lot with them. He's also taken our 911 alert, which is a predator call lure, and he's been doing pretty well with it, with his calling. So I thought I'd just take a few minutes and talk about predator calling with calling scent. Now, I laugh because folks are either going to listen, think, and come up with a conclusion, or you're going to be hard-headed and bullheaded. And yeah, I said it that way, because what I find is we as outdoorsmen, we just get so hard-headed that we just don't ever allow ourselves to get gooder, because we're just hard-headed on what we do. And if you took offense to that, I'm sorry. But it's the truth. You know, when we talk about scent usage with calling, the first thing out of somebody's mouth is going to be, "You can't hide human odor." And I say, yep, you're correct. 100% correct. You cannot take away human odor. Can't do it. So then what's the sense of having it? Create an illusion and buy time. That's simple. Create an illusion, buy time. Listen, I've been making outdoor scents since 1987, and I don't come on here and say anything publicly without I can prove it. All right, so all you naysayers, yeah, this is a little bit aggressive, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to get you to get ticked off and listen. All right? So all you naysayers, that this is what you think, and you base it nothing more than what you think, and that's all there is to it. You've never tried it, you've never tested it, you've never done anything to prove that it works. You only go out and try something for 3 seconds, and then that proves in your mind that it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't prove nothing. Until you sit down with something to prove that it works and it doesn't work, then you can say it doesn't work. But until you do that, well, all you've done is just nothing. Why predator calling scent works is what we call sight, sound, smell. When that predator is coming in, every sense that he or she has is on. Every sense, eyes, nose, ears, and gut, everything is on. They're coming in because they hear something that made them curious. Gray fox example, perfect example. Gray fox many times will not come in for a good 20 to 30 minutes. And only after that time will they come in charging when you throw out some type of a gray fox distress sound. All the other times that you're calling gray fox and you're just using distress sounds, especially with a light, what you literally will see is an eye flicker in the brush, an eye flicker in the brush, an eye flicker in the brush. And they're circling you, and they circle, and then they get downwind of you, and then you don't see the eye flicker anymore. If they do come out at night on their light, they cop out, they take a look-see, and if your light shines through them, they get a little light sensitive sometimes, and then they shoot back in. All right, so gray fox will continue to come check you out, but they won't come out into the open, and this is what makes them so hard, especially at night with a light. During the day, it's easier because you can see better, and you're not using a light, and so once you put in that gray fox distress sound, all right, they've been listening for 20 minutes. They've been listening to figure out what's going on here. And a lot of people, they're a dominant fox, yes, but they also know they're low on the totem pole. Studies are starting to come out to show that gray fox are taking more of a beating from coyotes than red fox are. So so when you're looking at all this stuff, you got to understand behavior. You got to understand habits. That gray fox is on the bottom of the totem pole. It's called a swamp fox for a reason. It feels better inside the thick stuff. So when he's coming through, he's taking a peek. And at night you might be able to get an eye. You might be able to get him, with an eye glitter. You might see him come out and go back in. So what we've learned with scent, if you will, we're going to take scent and we're going to put it right on the collar. If you're using an e-collar, we're going to put it right on that collar. And then what we're going to do is turn that collar up. Now what's going to happen is this. When that critter, and I'm using a gray fox for example here, when he's coming in, he hears the sound, he hears something getting killed, but he wants to figure out what's doing the killing. He wants to come in and he wants to make sure that when he comes in to check it out, it ain't something that's going to kill him or her also. Okay? So as they're working in and they're checking, and the first thing they're doing is their ears, or hearing with their ears. And they're trying to figure it out with their ears. They locate the source of the sound. Now they come out and they do a look-see. They may pop out into the open for a few seconds, and then they're going to jump right back into the brush. 9 times out of 10. Now you get a couple dumb ones, and as the population is getting higher and higher and higher here in South Jersey, we're starting to see them be a little less cautious, if you will, but they're still a gray fox. So he'll pop out into that open and jump back into the brush, and then he's going to try to maneuver himself or herself downwind of that collar. And when they get downwind of that collar, their ears are now kicking in, their eyes are now kicking in, and they're looking and they're studying. And I have seen gray fox literally sit down and look in the direction of the collar for 10 minutes and not move. Just sit there for 10 minutes behind that bush, where they'll sit there for a few seconds and then move to another vantage point and sit there for a few seconds, or they'll stand there, and they will stand there, maybe move just back and forth just a little bit, as long as they're in that thicker stuff, okay? And they will study that looking. Now you get into Texas, you get into other areas, or you get into upstate New York, or you get into Pennsylvania, where the woods are much more open. The gray foxes are going to act a little bit different than they're going to act down here in South Jersey, or in the thicker, heavier stuff, if you will. All right. So what we're doing is we're studying the gray fox behavior. All right. The gray fox is now trying to figure out what's getting killed, but more importantly, what's doing the killing. And when that gray fox gets downwind of that e-collar, what is it expecting that's not there normally? it hears it, it's looking out, and if you have a decoy, then it can see a movement. That's even better for you, I guess. I don't use decoys, but that'd be better. But then at that point, what is the missing factor that nobody thinks about? Smell. It is expecting to smell something getting killed, and more important, it's expecting the smell of what's doing the killing. And I have seen coyotes and foxes 100 yards downwind not commit with no scent. But then I'll see that same scenario 100 yards, the fox stages, the coyote stages. You see they throw their nose up in the air, they get a whiff of a prey, they get a whiff of a non-dominant, non-threatening predator, and then charge right in. Now, all this stuff I'm talking to you about is what I learned by not killing. All this stuff I'm talking to you about is what I learned from March 15th, was when our season ends, till when our season starts again, by just going out and putting out predator calls and calling without a gun just to watch what they do. And I watch how they react. Why? Because I'm not going to kill them. My goal is to watch. I don't have time to do that, Jonesy. No, you don't, but I do. All right. So what I've seen is when that smell on that caller reaches and hits that fox or coyote, in this case a gray fox, the piece of the puzzle that was missing now comes into play. They've been studying that situation. They've been looking at that situation. Everything seems okay. Now they smell it. Boom. There's the piece of the puzzle. All right. Now, can you kill fox without a calling scent? Yep, you sure can. Yep, you sure can. But you know what? I found out you're going to be able to kill a lot more with it. And coyotes are going to be you're going to definitely see some difference in coyotes too. So when you put that scent on the caller, now you're adding sight, sound, smell. Now if you're using mouth calls, you are the target. And what I found is this. I'm using mouth calls, and I love mouth calls. I would rather use mouth calls than anything else. But in thick cover, it's almost virtually impossible because they're going to get downwind of you. Unless you can put a good block downwind of you, they're going to get downwind of you. And gray fox, you're going to do better inside thicker stuff. All right, in South Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania. Well, you let me know. But again, what's going to happen is this: that critter is going to get down. That gray fox is going to get downwind of me, and when he gets downwind of me, all right, he's going to pick up my smell. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is going to pick up my human odor. I stink. I can clean myself. I can take all the showers I want. I can do everything I possibly can. I can do everything. I can wrap myself in a bubble suit. I'm still going to stink. Why? I'm breathing. That's simple. I'm breathing. I'm moving. My armpits, my groin area, my crotch area, my feet, my boots. Okay? I'm going to move. And I'm giving off human odor. And depending on the wind and how strong it is and how light it is, okay, it's going to carry that 50 to 100 yards with no problem. So by me taking a scent, Mr. Caller, Mr. Rabbit, Mr. Fox, Mr. Coyote, don't use Mr. Coyote if you're going after fox. And I missed it, right? When I missed it, that scent is going out downwind of me, and it's putting a cone of odor that's mixing with my odor. And hopefully I don't stink so bad that I'm overpowering the scent that I just misted, which is hopefully stronger. Okay? And what's going to happen at this point is that fox or that coyote, that gray fox in this case, gets downwind of me and he picks me up. Now, if I got my stand-up right, if I got my position right, which many times I don't, but if I do, I now will see it downwind of me before it sees me. I see it pick up my human odor. Jonesy's here. All right. And then, at this point, hopefully, I created an illusion by taking and misting that scent. And that illusion is this. It smells me. It says, Jonesy is here, or was he here? That's critical right there. Because all I got to do is get it to stand still for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Brother and sister, in the world of predator calling, that is eternity. That is eternity. All I've got to do is get 10 seconds of that critter trying to say, is he here or is he not here? Because animals are not afraid of human odor. They're afraid of human odor here now. And brother and sister, let me tell you this. Their noses are so keen and so fine-tuned that they can tell if you are here now or if you was here an hour ago. Now, I get people challenging me that all the time, and I say, you ever hunt rabbits with a rabbit dog? They'll say, yeah. And I say, well, how does that rabbit dog know which way that rabbit went with its foot just did this? Pop! And that was slow. That was slow. Pop is slow compared to a rabbit hitting its foot on the ground. It's slow compared to the duff and the odor that's coming off of its body, permeating out from the body as it runs through the brush, 1/100th of a second. Yet that hound dog knows which way it ran. Why? Because of age. 100ths of a second age. A rabbit dog can tell which way that rabbit went. You don't think a fox or a coyote can do the same thing? Well, this is a long one, a longer one. And many of you turned it off as soon as I got to the first part of me being a little bit indignant. And I apologize. No, I don't apologize for that. I'm sorry, I don't. All right. You know what I say to people? You don't think I'm telling the truth? Go prove me wrong. Don't go out and prove me wrong. Go out and prove me right. Go get yourself some fox urine. Whatever you want. I don't give a hoot. Go get yourself a smell yourself. And go out and say, you know what? Let's see if Jonesy is telling the truth. And do everything you possibly can to prove me right. Because this is what's going to happen. If you try to prove me right, okay? You try to prove me right, and it doesn't work, then you can say from the mountaintop, it's a hoax, it don't work. Because you've done everything you possibly can to make it work. But if you go out and just try it one time, well, you ain't proved nothing. Because what you've done is just try. You didn't try to make it work. You just tried it. And you know what? Subconsciously, when somebody tries something subconsciously, What they're literally doing is proving that it doesn't work instead of proving that it does. All right, just some thoughts on the, I hope I didn't lose too many friends on this one. Thoughts from the office, Rednecks Pride Outdoors. I'll talk to y'all later.